Yep, welcome back to the house in Fata Morgana. Last time we confronted Jacopo, who turns out, plot twist, is the same person as the slave that was friends with Morgana and helped her escape the Lord's Manor. Turns out he just had some scheme to become Lord. Now he's telling us his story. I think at this point he just became Lord, right? Oh no, he's been Lord for a while. Because he's saying, yeah, okay, as we get into it. It was day after draining day of betrayal, constantly having to look over my shoulder. Fighting to meet unrealistic expectations, I was starting to lose sight of who I was as a person. I couldn't let anyone see me looking weak. They would see it as an opportunity to take advantage of me. To manipulate me, to eliminate me. I needed the power to protect myself from those people. Attaining rank was only the first step. I needed even more power. Enough to ensure no one would ever be giving me orders, could ever play me for a fool. I turned my attention first to bolstering the economy. I provided subsidies to merchants in the city, I expanded trade routes, and I didn't know that people of any skin color, even those now welcome in other territory, will welcome in my land, trying to bring some vitality to the city. Fucking woke feudal lords, man. The previous lord had evidently loved to throw parties, squandering away nearly all the tax money on his own entertainment. If he had left me more to work with, I would have used it to clean up and repair the slums. But for the time being, that had to remain another item on the checklist. I needed more money flowing to the city as a whole before I could make any headway in fixing up the poorer areas. Helping the people who needed it most quickly became a secondary objective. I had a pretty good idea what my former accomplice Stella and the slums were saying about me. He used us. I could practically hear them whispering. Some of them even started publicly sounding me in an attempt to undermine my authority, claiming I wasn't suited to be in a position of power because I've spent most of my life in the slums. It wasn't long before they had convinced the people I was just another tyrant. I had hoped that, if no one else, would have sympathized with I'd hoped that they, if no one else, would have sympathized with my position. Realized that I had every intention of helping them, and that I simply didn't have the resources for it yet. But no one saw what I was doing. No one believed me, even when I tried to explain. In one case, I invited an old companion to my manor to discuss matters, but the meeting only turned into an attempt on my life. Having absolutely no one I could trust, no one I could call an ally, hit me a lot harder than I had expected. It twisted my worldview beyond recognition. I had no need for sympathy. I couldn't show care for anyone, otherwise someone would inevitably use it against me, old friends and strangers alike. In fact, those who knew me best, those who were aware of where I had come from and what I had been before, were the ones who fought the hardest to tear me down. Rules needed to be created, punishments established. I couldn't allow anyone to take this power from me. Anyone who so much as suggested I had come from the slums, anyone who dared disrespect me, had to be eliminated. All threats exterminated before they could reach me. Somewhere along the line, I lost sight of my original dream, lost all my desire to do right by the people I cared about. Hell, I didn't have anyone to do right by anymore. Why did I need to climb to the top of the ladder, so no one could kill me? Why did I want money, so no one could mock me? Why did I want power, so no one could oppose me? 4 years passed, and I found myself in a very, very distant place. Miracle blood? Sounds like a sham to me. You never know. They say the sound of her first cry brought rain to the land where she was born, saving the whole village from drought. And they say her blood has the power to cure any disease. One day, a curious rumor came to my attention. The kind of whispering I wouldn't usually put much stock into. But it said that there was a witch living in a cottage by the lake. Few had ever seen her face, but they claimed she had the same voice as a girl who had supposedly performed miracles several years earlier in a faraway village. Okay, I have a lot to say about this. Skip 2 minutes ahead if you don't want to hear me yap. So, I've been wondering for a while, how did the rumor, how did people come to know that the girl living in the cottage by the lake was the girl with the miracle blood? Like, how did they connect the two? Because Morgana never told anyone that. For several years, she never told anyone that her blood had miracle healing powers. And then she did tell Mel, and I guess Nellie knew too, even though she didn't know what she even looked like. But she told Mel, but I don't think Mel would tell anyone else. He didn't really have anyone else in his life other than Nellie. And I don't think he would just say it to a random person. And then when we saw Yukimasa talking with the Lord, the Lord somehow knew that the girl living in the cabin had miracle blood. So I was wondering how that came to be, And I guess the explanation we're going with is that just like some random people who like went to her for medicine recognized her voice. Really? That's a bit like that's a bit far-fetched, right? I get that they had to have some explanation. I feel like the writer was probably like backed into a corner here because he needed to find some way to have like the Lord realize that the girl living in the shed was the same girl, was Morgana. It's not like completely unbelievable because they do keep saying that she has a very distinctive voice. So I guess it's okay, but like, what are the fucking chances that someone coming to the cottage would be like one of the very, very, very few people that are still alive that could recognize her voice? Because who would that even be? It would have to be like one of the people at the brothel, or maybe like one of the people at the old Lord's Manor, even though she barely even talked back then. I don't know. Anyway, yap over. The people love their stories of heroes and miracles, and if I could show some support for the churches, then maybe people would stop complaining I was focusing too much on the economy. So I devised a plot to capture the witch and make use of her miracle blood. I would establish a new church, have it be run by a nun the city had been fawning over for some time. They called it the Saintess. There, I would take the witch's blood and clone a miracle medicine, distributing it in exchange for tithes, which the people would certainly come for in droves. And if the blood somehow did happen to have special powers, then I would make the scheme that much more effective. and then the witch arrives, and it's your old girlfriend, your old 12-year-old girlfriend, but her arm's missing. Oh fuck, I messed up, guys. I'll worry about the veracity of the rumors later. Right now, all I want for you is to capture her and bring her to me. I was too busy to handle capturing the witch myself, so I went and found someone to handle it for me. It was a former slave who had, several years back, massacred an entire carriage of slaves and the slave traders transporting them. Obviously not an upstanding citizen, but there was little doubt he would have any trouble apprenticing a single witch. The biggest reason I chose him, though, was because he was enamored with a nun. I honestly thought it was rather hilarious, a murderer falling in love with a nun. I had been expecting the man to object, but he agreed almost without hesitation. There was a mansion on the outskirts of the city, which the previous lord had built for himself and had gone unused since his death. It was there I decided to keep the witch, and it was there I decided to establish a church. The nun would have ample space there to provide temporary shelter to the sick and needy. I thought with what little remained of my conscience that I was doing the right thing. If one witch, probably an old woman at that, was all it cost to accomplish such good, then a worthy sacrifice it was. And in an ideal world, it wouldn't matter young or old. A human being was an unacceptable price for anything. But this was far from an ideal world, so I decided that taking what little remained of this woman's life was the best, no, the only acceptable course of action. She would probably despise me for it, but I would gladly accept her hatred in exchange for the benefits her blood would bring the city. It's our responsibility to offer a helping hand to the sick and the poor, to pray for the abandoned souls. Morgana's words from years back popped into my head. I believed that, as aggressive, self-centered, and utterly lacking compassion as my methods may have been, I was following that mantra. I was offering a helping hand to people who needed it in the only way I knew how. I wasn't so dense as to think she would approve of me making an old woman pay the price for my charity, though. Doing this made me no better than the tug, but everything has a price. For every extravagant feast held, a dozen people go the night without food. That's simply the way of the world. I was no god. I was no saint. I had blood on my hands. I was a villain. I knew no way to accomplish good without doing bad. After the swordsman departed, I took some time to myself. I filled a goblet with water, smelled it, and gave it a bit to my pet dog before gulping down the rest of it. Are you still somewhere out there, Morgana? What would you think of me if you saw what I had become? Several days later than originally planned, the swordsman family arrived at the mansion. I had chosen the observation tower on the grounds for the witch's prison, and it was there I waited for him. He showed up with a burlap sack swung over his shoulder, slinging it down the ground and saying, "There's your witch." I could only hear muffled grunting from inside the sack, but it didn't sound like an old woman inside. The man's clothes in the bag, both reeked of blood. Tell me you didn't harm her, dog. I smell blood. You only instructed me not to kill her. Mistakes were made, limbs were lost. I cleaned up all the blood I got on me. No one suspected anything. Yukimasa really just did that for no reason. He just cut off her arm because he felt like it. Because Mal didn't even ask for the arm. That you were able to immediately recognize it as the smell of blood is quite a bit, Lord. You have killed before, haven't you? Enough yapping. She is alive, yes? Of course. I felt a tinge of guilt for the woman, but it didn't last long. Her role in my scheme and the fate that awaited her was the same regardless of the condition she arrived in. I tossed my gaze from the man to the bag. He crouched down to untie it, revealing a young girl with one arm severed. As soon as I saw her, I knew exactly who the girl was. But why? What was she doing in the bag? Why was she the lakeside witch? What was she doing here? Why was she so pale and shaking? Why had I ordered her captured? How could I have done that? How could I have let this happen to her? Morgana. My voice was hoarse and rattling. She looked up at me, her face was as disfigured and hideous as it had been 4 years before. My mind flashed back to her birthday, to when I had considered offering to take her as my lifetime partner if her face hadn't healed in 4 years' time. Is that you? Her question yanked me out of my memories. You remember me? Did Morgana remember me? The 3 years we had spent together. What kind of person I had been. The boy who had refused to give up putting ointment in her face. Those horribly unromantic encounters at the graveyard. Her taking shots at me making shots at hers. All that time we had shared. How could I ever forget? Morgana, she remembered me? How could I ever forget all the pain and the humiliation you put me through? How could I ever forget the blood sabbats you so love to hold? Okay, so Morgana here, she's like, obviously she's lost an arm. She's like freaking out. She's not thinking straight. She thinks that this lord is the same as the previous lord. But after she died, surely she realized that Jacopo was... That the new lord was the slave that saved her. Because she knew that his name was Jacopo. And when he reincarnated, his name was also Jacopo. Like, obviously she would have realized, right? What? What was she talking about? Haven't had enough, have you? Leaving scars on every inch of my body wasn't enough for you? You haven't had your fill of my blood? No, that wasn't me. I was the one who had tried to heal those wounds. You're the man who bound me, cut me up, called me a witch, and tried to kill me. I haven't forgotten you even for a moment. No, Morgana, I was the man who rescued you from him. I don't care how much my father preaches forgiveness. That's the one thing you'll never get from me. I despise you with all my soul. I revile you with every fiber of my being. For every scar you gave me, I give you a lifetime of hatred. No, Morgana. Wasn't I where you need the Witch Lord? His voice made my blood run cold. I didn't just know her. Morgana was. This man, the Lord. He destroyed me, mind and body. No, that was another man. He was already dead. I had just taken his place. I come from the slums. I'd been part of the slaves' revolt. I knew I had to tell her. He ruined my life. But between the sting of Morgana's accusations and my need to protect my current position, I couldn't muster the strength to do it. If someone were to find out I wasn't legitimate royalty, that I had come from the slums, and everything I had worked so hard to build up for who though, will come crumbling down. Do I really think that it hasn't already? All I had left was my power and my rank. Is that what I actually wanted? I couldn't afford to lose that too. When did I first start straying from the path? Yes, I know her, or I knew her years ago. You see, what do you want me to do then, Lord? You look sick. This doesn't change anything. We locked the witch up and proceed as planned. Why? Why couldn't I tell her the truth? How? How could I keep her imprisoned? What? What had I wanted power for in the first place? Would anyone ever believe me if I said this wasn't how I wanted things to turn out? It's a nice drawing. Okay, so I will say, compared to the previous two stories, I definitely don't feel as bad for Jacopo as I do for Mel, but I definitely feel more bad for Jacopo than I do for Yukimasa. I think Yukimasa is definitely still like the most guilty out of all three of them by far. Not even just for the Morgana thing, but for everything else. But whatever. Would anyone ever believe me? Before me floats a man, twisted and writhing in pain. Although whether what I'm looking at could be said to resemble a human is a difficult question. It's a hazy and distant shape, on the precipice of being consumed by darkness everlasting. I know very well what I'm looking at, the moments before a man's soul shatters. Did I do the same thing to him? That Morgana did to me? Was it I who summoned the darkness? Who laid his past bare? Who forced him to relive those events? To experience once more everything he felt, everything he taught? Who put him through that okay, we're back to Michelle's POV, who put him through that despair a second time. I can only imagine how he must have felt, causing someone he once cared for so much pain. The things he did are abhorrent, more than deserving of reproach, and it would undoubtedly be easier for him to simply vanish into the eternal abyss. But I can't allow that to happen. He still has work to do. His story is essential. It's almost certain Morgana still doesn't know who he really is. Oh no. How? How? How can she not know? His name is Jacopo. He said his name was Jacopo in fucking 1869 or whatever. How can you not know who he really is? You called him Jacopo when he was a slave, or when like he was pretending to be a slave. Whatever. He needs to face her. To reveal the truth with his own words. Maybe she just thinks it's a coincidence. It just so happens that when he got reincarnated, he got called Jacopo, even though everyone else kept the same name. It's just a coincidence. That's the only way we're going to get her to have a change of heart. That's not all he has to say to her, either. So I must bring him back, pull him out of the darkness. I grab the man by the arm and begin scouring the blackness for an exit. After some time, I see his pick listening high above, so I make my way upwards, back into the harsh light of the real world. What? The darkness parts and we re-emerge in the dining hall. The man is still straddling me, dagger held above his head, just as he had been before a trek into his past. His eyes are open wide and his hand is trembling. A few moments later, his fingers go slack and the blade slips from his grasp, piercing the wood floor by my face. Hey, what was that? I swear I saw some kind of black cloud or something. What happened to you two? Neither of you saw any of that? Saw what? If you didn't see anything, then don't worry about it. The necklace, that must have been the key to unlocking his memories. Like when I touched the mirror in the mansion. Sure. I have no idea why certain objects show me different memories. It's because you have the power to resonate. You can mind hack. Well, I got what I needed, I think. I'm fairly certain the white-haired girl is Morgana now. The things Jacopo did to her and felt to her behind the third door have much in common with him and Morgana in this life. Sure? Why did you dig that up? How the hell did you do that? Why did you show me my former self? What did you make me watch that? Why didn't you tell her? Had you only opened your mouth and told Morgana the truth, told her you weren't the Imperious Lord, told her who you really were. Okay, but I feel like she wouldn't have been very happy that her arm had been cut off, but, you know. It would have been better than how it is right now. Things could have turned out differently. Also, we're ignoring the fact that he would have done all of this with no remorse if it had been someone other than Morgana. Like, turned out differently how? Knowing would have only worsened her pain. Yes, you're exactly right. The man who once saved her life is now the source of all of her misery. How would knowing that do anything but cause her more despair? The least you could have done then was let her go free. I had already put money into setting up the church here. Her arm had been cut off. There was no turning back. You can't go back from that. You could have, yes. I could have stopped then and there. Don't act like you know anything. Couldn't possibly comprehend the weight on my shoulders, you dirty peasant. You're right, I can, and I'll be damned if I want to. To hell with understanding the feelings of man who could so easily lose sight of what mattered most for a little power. Gah. Money, power, that's not what you really wanted to hold dear. So why couldn't you let go of that? Why did you have to go and let what mattered most slip through your fingers? Had you done anything, it wouldn't have had to come to this. I couldn't have people knowing where I came from. I needed wealth, rank. No, you didn't need any of that. Do you have any idea how much Morgana treasured her time with you and Maria? Do you know how she described that period? As one of the brightest chapters of her life. Those 3 years she spent at the brothel until it was attacked. She said that was where she learned how to find joy in life. And no, she would never say any of that. Why do you refuse to believe me? She never opened up to anybody. That's all just your fantasy. What do you want to see in her? You're trying to convince me of something that was never there. No, I think she's right, Lord. I believe she did feel that way. The day I killed that carriage full of slaves 4 years ago, this girl you're talking about, she was there. What? That can't... And she said this to me before I began my massacre. I'm sad because I didn't get the chance to show my gratitude to people very dear to me. She was crying as she did. So that's who she was talking about. It was you. There's no way. When exactly did the brothel attack 4 years ago take place? It was the winter. I see. Winter 4 years ago is when I met the girl too. That reminds me. She mentioned something unpleasant happening to her 4 years ago during one of our conversations. That she was forced to part ways with the people who taught her that humans are capable of kindness. She was talking about you. There is still time. You can still set Morgana free. You can still reveal your true self to her. She She was likely in shock that day, not seeing or thinking straight. She still thinks you're someone else. Hearing you were the Lord, it set something off inside her, preventing her from seeing who you really were. Her time in the Fierce Lord's captivity left scars even deeper than she knew. So all it took was that one word, and in her eyes you became him. Which isn't to say you haven't caused her much pain yourself, but I still believe her truth is the key to allaying her hatred. It will change your perception of the world. I'm certain of it. So please, release Morgana and spill your heart for her. I was planning to end it all with the Harvest Festival. What? I was already planning to set her free then. Shut up. I knew damn well was much too little, much too late, but I needed an excuse to face her, some occasion to give me that last nudge. So I told myself it's going to be the day, that's when I'm going to do it. But you had to show up out of nowhere, digging on my past, turning all my plans out the window. You still think I'm the reason you carefully let plans fall apart? I'll let her go during the Harvest Festival. Tomorrow she goes free. Tomorrow's too late. What difference does it make? When the bell tolls noon on the day of the Harvest Festival, Morgana dies. I've had more than enough of your so-called prophecies. We made you ingest smoke that made you see your past, and we read your mind. What do you mean you've had enough of our so-called prophecies? Are you stupid? Why do you still refuse to believe me? I'm not making anything up. I'm from the future. I know how this ends. Having an occasion or plan can certainly make it easier to take action, but you can't just wait for the right occasion for everything. Sometimes, if you don't act on something as soon as you decide to do it, you'll miss your chance. Michelle knows that. In your next life, you make the same mistakes. You lock someone up that you care about, eventually causing her to break down entirely. When you're so fixated on waiting for the right occasion, you completely destroy any chance of stopping anything. Oh yeah, he did do the same thing with like the opening up of his railway or whatever, right? That was going to be the day that he confronts the white-haired girl, but was a little too late. That's a nice parallel. If you set on releasing her, then release her. Jacopo. Stop being so damn fixated on your occasions already. Enough. Damn you. You're right. You don't have to tell me I'm being a fool. I'll do it. Right now I'll do it. I'll release her. Thank you for making up your mind. I didn't make the lock require 3 keys, because the weight was too much to bear alone. It was because having others with me, it would force me to keep up the Lord facade, to prevent me from letting anything slip. Or maybe I was just waiting, hoping someone would betray me and make me pay. Pathetic, I know. You can have the necklace. It belongs to you. Though I doubt Morgana will accept it, I hope you still attempt to give it to her yourself. Will you do that? Where did you get that anyway? From Maria. I thought she would have thrown it out by now. I assume she doesn't think very highly of me. Also, Maria tried to kill you just like she did in in the other story. Be honest with me. She was planning to kill you. Maybe that would have been for the best. To her, I'm nothing but a power-hungry traitor. The necklace, I'll take it. Here you are. Okay, what's gonna go wrong? When he takes the necklace, Jacopo looks as though he's on the verge of tears. Whether from the pressure of not wanting to lose face, or simply because he's no longer able to, he doesn't actually shed any though. The other two just stand and watch him quietly. Neither of them saw the vision of his past, but they don't pry either. Their exchanges was probably sufficient to give them an idea of what happened, even if they don't know the details. Clutching the necklace in one hand, Jacopo takes up the head of the procession to the observation tower, and while it lasts but for a brief moment, I see an image of the young man he used to be in his slightly slouched shoulders. What's gonna happen? Surely we're not just gonna release her and everything's gonna be hunky-dory. 1, 2, 3. They each insert and turn their individual keys. The lock disengaging and the door giving a deep groan as it swings open. Oh, scroll up. Beyond it, a spiral staircase extends high into the sky. Every time I climb these stairs, it's always been a solemn affair, and now it's no different. I've succeeded though, I've got them all here, ready to set her free before she's supposed to die. I've changed the past. Okay, what's gonna go wrong? I don't know. Giselle. Can you hear me, Giselle? I made it in time. Now Morgana doesn't have to die tomorrow. I did it. Giselle. Is it gonna be Maria? I don't know. With me. Come on. Do you guys hear talking behind the door? Is there someone else in there with her? That couldn't be. It's only Morgana. Stay with me, please. Come on, you can't give up now. I'll be quiet. As if you have any idea what I'm going through. Is it Giselle? Of course I do. No. Standing before the door at the top of the stairs, the chills run down my spine. Before I have time to consider what might have caused it, my body moves on its own. I shove my way past the other man and push open the door. Damn. I know, I'll come up with something pleasant. Take your mind off things. I'll come up with a story. A story? How about this? A dove flies into the window up above, a piece of parchment tied to its leg. It's a letter from the prince of the neighboring land. You breathe it and then you write a response. I don't respond. After exchanging letters back and forth for some time, the prince comes to find you. I'm not going to fall for your stupid fantasies. Holding on to something, even a fantasy, is better than believing in nothing at all. Is this the future Morgana talking to the past Morgana? Even a fantasy is better than believing in nothing at all. I don't want you to give up hope. Baseless hope only breeds despair. Not that you would know that. Besides, if anyone's going to come for me, I don't want it to be a prince. There's only one person I want to see. While stunned to silence at the scene unfolding beyond the door, Morgana is having a conversation with herself. This doesn't answer the question of who the white-haired girl is and where she came from. But I can't. This is just... She's just talking to herself? She's not talking to her future self? No one should have to go through this. Her mind is split into two. Oh, Morgana, it looks like you have visitors. They're here to take my blood. Or they've no use for me anymore and are here to kill me. Oh, don't be so negative. Look, there's someone new. Kill me, just set me free already. Morgana, you know what my wish is. Kill me and put a curse on them. Come on, Morgana, look up at them. Your letters, they made it. I never wrote any letters. He's got long hair as white as snow and eyes like rubies. He's beautiful, like an angel descended from heaven. An angel. Morgana, I've come for you, Morgana. Come to set you free. Would you please undo your shackle, Jacopo? As you say. Damn. Morgana. Angel. Can you hear me, Morgana? At long last, I have the chance to hold you, while you're still alive. I'm here to get you out of this tower. You have nothing to worry about anymore. You can go outside again, see the sun. You can go back to your old life. Angel. Morgana. Angel. No one's going to hurt you anymore, Morgana. And the three of them by the door. Okay, she's still like very close to death. You should probably have the nun take care of her because she's like she knows medicine, right? None of them had any malice for you. Well, Angel, you're free. You can go free again. Angel, you can have a normal life. No one's going to take any more of your blood. Angel, please, Morgana, please stay with me. Don't you want to leave this place? I'm going to set you free. I'll take you back to your cottage by the lake. I'll get you medicine. I'll help you with anything you need. If you want to go somewhere far away, I'll take you there. I'm begging you. I've waited so long for this moment. Morgana, I've been waiting so long for God to send an angel. Are you an angel? Are you an angel sent to deliver me from this place? Please deliver me unto my father's presence. I can't go back out there. I can't live in the mortal realm any longer. I don't want to. There's only one place I wish to go. I like how she's like she has her eyes written in lowercase. It makes it feel very, very weak. Oh, holy servant of the Lord, you are an angel, aren't you, Morgana? Please deliver me from this place. Yes, that's right. I am. For now, yes, I will be. I am the Archangel Michael, sent to deliver your soul unto God the Father. Dear angel, I've descended from heaven above. That's wonderful. Morgana, his father, is he proud of me? Your father, the Lord Almighty, is exceedingly proud of the great work you have done in his name. Thank you. It means so much to me to hear that. I couldn't be happier to be able to return with you to see him. Morgana. Morgana! Ah! Morgana! Her body goes limp in my arms. as the last of her life slips away. Well, there should have been more than enough time to spare, but still I failed to save her life. Okay, but if you're on the edge of death from like disease and starvation and blood loss, like being moved around like this is obviously gonna make it go faster. Like, at the very least, I hope I was able to provide her some comfort in her final moments. I'm allowed to think that, aren't I? We were too late. But why? Why isn't she not supposed to die until... That's what you said, isn't it? That was how it was supposed to happen, right? So how come we still didn't make it? Why didn't you do anything? Why did you just let her wither away like this? Why? Answer me. I have no answer for you. I had no idea she had deteriorated so badly. We should take her outside. Then you can atone for your sins. But first, we need to take her body somewhere clean. Death does not mean you are free of pain. We need to ensure her soul can depart in peace. Yeah, you know that because you got stuck on the crucifix for like a few days. You won't see me objecting. You need to say now what you were going to say to her. You must let her know the truth. She's dead. What good will it do to reveal my feelings now? Are you really that dense? Of course it will do good. Your physical body may be dead, but your soul is still here, watching everything. Listening to every word you say. I don't believe in souls. Well, I'm begging you to change your mind. Let Morgana hear what you have to say. Don't let her soul seethe in the hatred. Please. I'm begging you. Okay. Morgana, I'm not the Lord you knew. The man who put you through that hell, I killed him. I'm the man who freed you from his grasp. I'm the man who spent the next 3 years with you. We were poor and food was scarce, let alone good food. But those were happy times. Just about every day I'd come to rub ointment on your face. I tell you to look at me, and you'd reluctantly turn my way. I used to think a lot about the face you'd make when you finally gave in. And then there was Maria. I can only imagine how obnoxious you thought the two of us were when we were in the same room together. You sitting off alone while me and Maria go at it, not making a peep, me always trying to sneak glances at you. There's so much I never managed to tell you, and I hate myself for being too weak to put any of it into words. I could apologize, but I thought you'd forgive me, and I don't want you to either. I just want you to know that this isn't how I wanted things to turn out. What I wanted more than anything was to show you the world, but instead all I managed to show you was the inside of a cold, dark tower. Not the beautiful, unimaginably wide world outside these walls, but a tiny, filthy corner of it. I did this to you. I took everything from you when I should have given you everything. However much you hate me, you deserve every last bit of it and more. I was ready to pay with my life if that's what you wanted. I was ready to do absolutely anything. This wasn't how I wanted things to turn out. I waited too long to bring myself to take action. Morgana, the man there, he told me you said the 3 years you were with me and Maria, the brightest days of your life. Well, they were for me too. I loved you. That's everything. Did any of what you just said make it true to you, Morgana? I pray with all my heart that him opening up will have even the tiniest effect on how you feel. Morgana, I also want to apologize for everything I did to hurt you. What the fuck is Yukimasa gonna say? I felt terrible about it, I really do. And yeah, I know that's not enough to make up for what I've done, so I want to make amends, whatever it takes. If you want me to give you my life now, I will. If you want me to spend the rest of my days paying for my sins, I can do that too. Oh. Okay, Yukimasa just started talking. I am an irredeemable monster and a killer. I take pleasure in hurting people. You have a right to be afraid of me. I'm genuinely sorry for what I did to you though. I never wanted to see you dead. Sorry, I can't come up with anything better to say. Let's bring her outside. Would you carry her body, please? It feels like Jacopo put his heart into it, but you two just like... you two really didn't have much to say, huh? You should be the one to carry her. Your father is suited to the job. My right arm is in no condition to be picking anything up. I'll help you lift her then. You said it was my words she needed to hear the most, but ultimately, it was you who saved her. And me, who made that necessary. She wanted to be delivered to God by the hands of an angel. So the angel here should carry her. I can't. It wouldn't be right. Please, would you do it for her? Very well. Jacopo puts the necklace around Morgana's neck, and lifts her dead body off the ground and places her in my arms. He opens the door, heading the four-man procession out of the tower as he had in. What? He opens the door, heading the four-man procession out of the tower as he had in. Okay, as he had, like, going in, they mean. Okay. I walk at the back of the line. Each step they take down the spiral staircase is slow and ponderous, as if weighed down by the knowledge of their sins, that they must make their way to the place they will make their atonement. I wasn't able to prevent Morgana's death, but I was able to uncover the truth. I accomplished something. The sum of everything I did these 3 days should be enough to change her heart and change the course of their next lives. They should be able to avoid the tragedies I witnessed through each of their doors. Sure, whatever. When we step through this door and people see Morgana's body, we'll be made to pay for her sins. Ultimately, I'm the one responsible, so the 2 of you are welcome to stay behind. I'm coming with you. The girl died because of the things I did. I don't agree. I think Mel is 100% innocent, by the way, but sure. I can't just pretend I didn't have anything to do with me. I don't want to. I never had any intention of fleeing. I may have been the one running the operation, but I did just as many terrible things as you. Well then. Say, Michelle? Yes? I figure this is probably my last chance to say it, so thank you for convincing me to hand over my key. For giving me the courage to open my eyes. I always had the courage within you, Mel. You simply needed a little help finding it. It wasn't my strength that allowed you to take action, but your own. You sure know how to make someone feel better about themselves. Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta say it again. Mel is like completely innocent of this. If someone threatens you, says, I'm gonna kill you and the person you love the most, if you don't help me torture this person, like, they're not at fault for helping them. Even legally, I think. Legally, let's say we were in the modern day, I'm pretty sure Mel would be considered innocent, right? Maybe not for the things he did after, like keeping on for the key for so long and not telling anyone, but like luring her out and like having Yukimasa capture her. Like no one would find him guilty for that. Like I don't like that they're treating it as if he's anywhere near as guilty as the other 2. I'd like to be a little stronger next time around, if there really is next life. I'd like to be strong enough to face whatever comes my way. Do not run away or try to ignore it. I know that you will be. The trials you're made to face are great, and very few of them your own making. Yours is a tragedy of circumstance. The feelings kept secret and good intentions gone wrong. If you can face a problem when it arises rather than look away, I'm certain you can find your way to a better future. You mean in my next life? I do. I trust you know what you're talking about then, and burn your advice into my soul. Don't look away. Please do. I'm glad to have met you. If there is a next life, I'd like it if we could be friends. Just so you know, you'll never convince me to go on walks around the lake or take naps out in the sun. What? Well, that makes you sound like a very gloomy, unpleasant person to be around. Just joking. Thank you. You're welcome. You know, you kept telling me you weren't an angel, but you actually are, aren't you? I promise you, I am a regular man. You told Morgana you were an angel. Angels and demons don't get along very well, so I'd rather not run into you in my next life. I appreciate what you did here, though. I'll do my best to be more human next time. Please do. If I repeat to myself what you told me, that what I need most is restraint, as I make my departure from this world, and maybe I won't forget it, even if I do lose my memories. Burn it into my soul. I rather like that. I think I'll follow the boy's lead there. That would be best, and I'll be praying that even if you aren't capable of love, you'll be able to live a peaceful life with a good woman who loves you, that you'll be able to make her happy by doing so. I still think she'd be better off never knowing me. Whether you want her to or not, she's almost certainly going to meet you and fall in love with you. You know, now that I think about it, she's not as normal as I first thought. She's a peculiar woman. I can't say I disagree. Well, I guess this is goodbye then. That it is. I know everyone else is doing it, but I've got nothing to say to you. I didn't expect you would. Huh. I suppose I do have something I'd like to say to you. And what might that be? Be more open with yourself. If you had only put your feelings into words, things would have turned out differently, in both this life and your next. Coming from you, a man who looks even more closed off than me, that rubs me very much the wrong way. Okay, I haven't mentioned it, but it is like very, very good writing. That like everything they did here, like all the mistakes they did here, were the same mistake that they did in their own, like in their own stories that we first saw, and like it all looked back on itself. It's like it's very well written as usual for this story. Did I really look that closed off? In more ways than one, yeah. That part of me is deeply ingrained. You tell me to open up will magically disentangle my personality and make it be. I don't think you're as twisted as you believe you are. I'll consider it if this next life nonsense you're selling is true. Please do. Lord have mercy. One hell of a man certainly busted his way into my life. The last thing I expected was for an outsider to be the one to get us to open that door. Impressive work for one man. It was not only my doing. I had help from a number of people. And it was you, Giselle, who did the most in getting me here. I'm not as big a man as the three of you make me out to be. Before this, I lost so much I felt utterly powerless. I was on the verge of abandoning all hope. But having the opportunity to meet all of you, to spend time with you and the people around you, it did a great deal to revitalize my spirit, despite the atrocities involved. So I thank you. I pray your next lives may turn out better. I suppose we should get going then. I'll have to pay for her crimes, to relieve her soul of some of its pain, and I suppose to make sure their next lives go a little better. Let's. So we're saying that the witch personality was the one that stayed at the mansion and like fucking cursed people and like made Giselle become the maid and all that, and the normal girl personality is the one that like reincarnated into the white-haired girl in all the stories. He places a hand on the large door and takes a step forward. The door lets out a heavy groan, and moonlight slips through the widening crack. It's all over now. I did it. I changed the past. Did you? What the hell? Ugh. What I see beyond the door is not the nighttime courtyard. The sun hangs high in the sky, shining down on the blood-soaked grass. Why? What's going on? That's when I notice. The weight of Morgana's body is gone from my arms. And then... Out in the courtyard. Nellie. I see a flaxen-haired girl vomit blood and fall to the ground. No! All the clocks were 24 hours behind. It is the Harvest Festival. A young man kneels over her and takes his own life. No. There are dead and dying townfolks all around the nun. The swordman is secured as he scrambles to reach her, and at the door just to my back, Jacopo. The Lord lies unmoving, slumped against a wooden frame in a pool of blood. How can this be? We were all just talking not a minute ago. How the hell did we go from that to this? Why damn it? I changed the past, did I not? Why did you think you were in the past? I steered them away from this outcome. I changed, Oh, that's what this is? As much as I don't want to believe it, it makes sense. The sense that something wasn't quite right I've been feeling ever since I got here. The darkness that swelled up when I touched the necklace. I was never in the past at all. Yeah, obviously. Why did you think you were in the past? In all the stories we've seen so far, you've never traveled in the past. You've just been seeing the story. Like, I don't know why you assumed that you were, but this isn't the real world. It's the realm of the dead. The same domain in which the cursed mansion resides. Which is why when I arrived here, something felt off, because death filled the air. Somewhere deep down, I can sense the similarity between here and the mansion, that gathering place of departed souls. It was never possible for me to travel back in time, to exist and interact with the real past. I was able to summon the darkness because this isn't the real world, merely a reconstruction. A projection of their souls' memories. It was all set in stone long ago. None of the time I spent with any of them was real. Okay, but Morgana still saw all of this, right? Every emotional moment I thought I shared with them was all an illusion. None of my conversation, none of the smiles I managed to get out of them were real. I was never there. I was never present in the past with them. I'm currently sometime after all that, sometime beyond the era Morgana lived, beyond the 17th, 18th, 19th centuries. What I spoke of as their next lives was actually their past lives. All true tragedies are history. Immutable, irreversible history. There's nothing to change anymore. What, then, did I fight so hard to achieve? What did I accomplish by warning them of their next lives, by convincing them to endeavor to take different paths? Nothing? Was it all for nothing? I go limp at the sight of it all, dropping to my knees and sending ripples through the sea of blood. Morgana, the girl who called me an angel and asked me to deliver her unto her father, is still chained up inside the tower. What did I accomplish? What purpose did anything I do serve? Was it all just a big damn waste of time? My cries go unanswered, simply fading into the dead air. Giselle, who kept me going for so much of this ordeal, is still silent. No, I did accomplish something. It wasn't a waste of time. Everything I did, it wasn't for nothing. I may not have changed the past, and I may not have stopped their tragedies, but I achieved something. I uncovered their stories. I learned the truth of everyone's involvement. You can't take that away from me. I know you're out there, Morgana. I know you've been watching this whole time. You know the truth now. I accomplished that much. Morgana pops out and says, "I don't care, LMAO. I'm gonna keep torturing them." That has to change how you see them at least a little. If the person Morgana has a change of heart, decides to let go of her hatred, then that should cause the cursed mansion to disappear, set their souls free. I'll take that leap of faith. What I've done is enough, and make my way back, believing there's a future for them beyond their tragedies. I'm coming back, Morgana. I'm returning to that house, to that world of blackness seething with hatred, my present. I'm going to try this once more. An honest attempt to really see you, to face you, Morgana. I'll be there as soon as I can. Kneeling in a puddle of blood, I turn my gaze towards the heavens. The searing sunlight is slowly eroded by darkness, and my body, mind, and soul follow soon after. The bloody, corpse-riddled courtyard dissolves, and I find myself once more in an utterly lightless void. I clench my teeth as hard as I can manage, squeeze my eyes as tight as I can, because that's the only way I can keep the screams back, the tears from spilling down my cheeks. Oh, we did it. Deliverance. So, are we going to be Giselle POV now? Michelle. Why does the text box look stretched? Like the the symbols on the back of the text box looks like they've been stretched out. Michelle, open your eyes, Michelle. Come to me. Oh, it's the good Morgana. He's giving us a sword? What? We meet at last. What? Why is the white-haired girl here? Never mind that. Where am I? I was trying to get back to the mansion. How did I end up here? Do you know who I am? Of course I do. How could I not know who you are? Splendid. But what are you doing here? Why is there a sword in your hand? Actually, you know what? Let's stop here. That we just finished the 8th chapter. This seems like it's gonna go on for a bit. Let's stop here. Okay, I will say the twist of it not really being in the past, but it just being like a reconstruction of what really happened doesn't really work as a twist, because I don't even know why anyone would assume that they were in the past. Like, the first thing, I'm pretty sure if you go back, the first thing I asked when they got there, and Michelle was like, oh, we're in the past, maybe we can change things. We're like, wait, are you really in the past? Like, aren't you just in the reconstruction of their memories? So I don't know why he assumed that, but sure. I will say, I said it earlier, but the writing here was like really good. I like how, like, the stories of what all 3 of the men did here was like, it reflected what they did in the other stories and how they keep making the same mistakes over and over. I don't know, it's kind of neat. There was clearly a lot of effort put into the writing of this, like making everything fit together thematically. It's really impressive. But anyway, I'm gonna stop here for now. Next part might be the final part, right? We're gonna take the sword from the good witch and then kill the evil witch. The split personality. Man, this really is getting more and more Yumi Neko. We're getting a split personality witch. Where have I heard that before? Anyway, gonna stop here for now. See you next time for maybe the finale. Who knows? This game keeps making me think that I'm close to the end, but then it just keeps going. I thought I was close to the end like 30 episodes ago. So, but I think we're close to the end for real now. So, yeah, see you next time.